What is there to say? It's all so hard. I know. I know it is. I know it's all very difficult. Is my belief that life is tragic first and beautiful second, I think is very helpful. Because at the very least, for many of us, what it can do, it can help us be much more appreciative and have much greater perspective on a day-to-day basis. We're often ungrateful because more than ever, we see so many different varieties of life being lived, but I absolutely challenge you to ask yourself whether or not that's truly a life worth living. Name the best, hilarious people, and I'll show you all of the tragedy surrounding their life and all the drama and all the hardship and all of the anguish within them. It's not always going to be good times. Nature never said that that's what life was about, that it was all about the he every day, all day. This is life. Thrills, good times, good times. It does that. This is not an indictment upon good times. I think, my most ideal scenario is a dinner table with loved ones, having meaningful conversation, having laughs, talking, laughing. But that's not necessarily, therefore, that's what life is. That's a luxury of life as a result of all the trial and error and of all the work that mankind has put in to be cooperative and collaborative. This is why it's good in a way what's happening socioeconomically. It's not good, obviously, in an objective sense with regards to people's bank accounts and job availability. It's good because people have seemed to have forgotten, the vast majority of people have seemed to have forgotten why we have the luxuries and conveniences we have to begin with. We take it all for granted. This is evidenced by our inability to have serious, reasonable conversation. This is evidenced by our unwillingness to truly comprehend the other. Instead, we indulge a more primitive inclination. It's all about winning. I just want to win. I just want my side to be right, your side to be wrong. And one side at any given point can be profoundly wrong. But the point is that ultimately, what is our objective? Is our objective harmony? Is it truly, truly harmony? Or is our objective superiority? And yes, there are many people that need to be called out for their interest in supremacy. But then when that is not occurring, let's say the supremacy is gone, there's always going to be some kind of an interest on a human being's part to seek discriminatory patterns. And it's not necessarily it's not a conscious endeavor, but rather it's just a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature in human nature where we will absolutely find a reason to be discriminatory. And if this is how we're wired, then that means that all of our efforts should be put into the mental battle to not be prisoners of our baser selves, to not be the grocery bag in the wind, just governed by our mercurial internal forces. And it's easier said than done, I know. But this word life is just so perverted because people have told you a life is X, Y, and Z as opposed to you deciding for yourself. There's someone living in some rural area of this country, or not, or maybe just whatever, just they're in a home and every day they get up, they tend to some chores. They might have a sip of tea or coffee, they might read some good books. They may go run some errands. They may come home and they may do it again over and over and over and over and over. Who says that's not a life? That versus the husband and wife who are toxic as hell with each other, who sweep everything under the emotional rug, who really secretly resent each other and resent the choices they made and resent their lifestyle and resent X, Y, and Z. But on the outside looking in, people are like, "Oh yeah, they got the family. They're doing it. They have all of the trappings." That's the norm. People believing that certain variables are indicative of a life, as opposed to a real emphatic focus on the internal environment being at peace. What's the point? What's the point if when we interact, what's the point if when we interact, there's all these ulterior motives and there's this toxic subtlety, this passive aggressiveness, this this interest in putting the other down, this interest in being superior than the other, this interest in indulging hierarchical perceptions of dynamics. What's the point if there's all of this cerebral warfare happening? Then also something we take for granted, though I would argue, what's the point if we're not working our asses off? And this sucks because I will say, I'm not gonna lie, there's toxicity in so many different work environments for so many people. And the idea that's been put into people's head, I see it all the time. What people say is, they'll drop you at the drop of a dime. Don't work. Don't push yourself for these people. I think that's the wrong attitude to have because it's hurting yourself. I really do. Don't look at it. If you work, let's say, for a retail company, let's say you work for Walmart. I understand that Walmart doesn't care about you and your hardships. I understand that. But for you to adopt an attitude of, I'm going to uphold myself to the higher standard, the reason why that's beneficial is because that will then transfer to other facets of your life. And I'm speaking from experience. Throughout my 20s, I worked for a major retail company and they didn't give a damn about me. But that wasn't the point. For me, it was about, I wanted to do my best because that's the kind of person I wanted to be. Always. People constantly remark to me about how, like, man, I don't know why you care this much. I don't know why you work this hard. I don't know why you're applying all this energy to this. But it wasn't about them. It wasn't about making them happy. It wasn't about anybody complimenting me and thinking highly of me. That's not what it was about. It was about because I saw that the kind of attitude and behavioral practices that a great human being has is such that no matter what scenario they're in, they try their best. That's clearly, to me, what makes a person amazing. I digress.